Is there a difference between a network engineer and system engineer? If yes, what do you think will be the difference? In the comment section below, please let us know about what you think was the difference. You might have come across these two expressions, the network engineer and system engineer, without knowing what they mean. Please, if you want to find out, stay tuned to the end of this video, because in this video, I'm going to explain the difference between a network engineer and system engineer. To start with, let's explore their roles and what they do, starting with a network engineer. Who is a network engineer and what should a network engineer do? A network engineer is more of a network architect for complex infrastructure, with the role of planning, managing, implementing, and taking care of the company's network infrastructure. This one comes in supporting with network hardware such as switches, routers, firewall, proxy, access point, wireless LAN controller. As a network engineer, you have to be good at IP addressing and IP subnetting. Maintaining your network, make sure there is no network issue in your company. Have a good analytical approach to problem solving, because when problem arises, you need to take care of it, you need to troubleshoot, and if you don't have a good analytical approach, it becomes very difficult to do so. As a network engineer, you make sure your network is securely running and healthy. You need to monitor network devices by implementing a protocol called SNMP. Not the only protocol, but it's one of the protocols you can use to monitor your network devices. Also, maintain the uplink between your company and the service provider. Make sure it runs properly. As a network engineer, you should also implement some concepts such as load balancing, failover. In case one device fails, it has to fail on a second one to avoid having interruption of networking or service on our network. Should also prevent loop from happening in your network, because loops delay the performance or reduce the performance of the network. As a network engineer, you should have a good understanding of encapsulation. You cannot talk about networking if you don't talk about encapsulation, and you need to know OSI model, because through OSI model you understand the encapsulation. And also you need to have a deep understanding of routing protocol, how those protocol works, such as RIP, EIGRP, OSPF, and BGP. If you don't understand routing protocol, it will be difficult for you to explain how packet will move from one LAN to a different LAN, or how packet is being delivered within a LAN. So very necessary to know the routing protocol. We have quite a lot, but then those that I've mentioned are really the core ones that you have to know as a network engineer. Subnetting, as I said, is very necessary to know as a network engineer, because you will be when you are implementing the network, you need to configure IP addressing to those devices. But if you don't know how it works, it becomes very difficult for you to do the job. So network engineer is more of interacting with network devices, maintaining them, and monitoring them as well. On the other side, we have a system engineer. What is a system engineer, and what does a system engineer do? A system engineer is more of designing, implementing, maintaining, and monitoring system, working with workstation and operating systems. Yeah, you've heard me, operating system. As a network engineer, you also work with servers, administration of the servers with different environments, such as Windows or Linux. You need to be familiar with one of these. It's either you are familiar with the two or you're familiar with one of these systems, because you might end up working with one of these as a system engineer. As a system engineer, you should also be good at handling storage. Yeah, because you can do without a storage as a system engineer. So what are the things you should also know as a system engineer? You should also have knowledge about backups, how to maintain the backups. You need to do analysis of those backups to make sure the backups are in good health. We also have what we call the network access control. You need to control devices that are draining the network by implementing the remediation servers, the servers that will be do the checking or the scanning of the devices to find out if it is in a good health to operate on your network. As a system engineer, you should also be familiar with PowerShell. You need to be able to work with Active Directory domain controllers, uh, establishing the trust between domains when you are running multiple domains in your site, account management, password reset. Yeah, those are certain things you should work as a system engineer. This role can be broken down into sub roles where we have a storage engineer and cloud engineer. A storage engineer is more of handling storage, and a cloud engineer is more of dealing with cloud services. Yeah. So as a system engineer, those are certain things you should be familiar with, because if you are being employed as a system engineer, you will end up doing all those things. Yeah. So very necessary to know. The network engineer and system engineer can mean different things regardless of the type of company you are dealing with: big, small, medium, or large. I would say they are complementary roles, because if you are being employed in a big organization, you probably have a network engineer and a system engineer. But if it's a small company, you can be employed as a system engineer and end up doing the network role, or you've been employed as a network engineer and end up doing the system role. So, what I will give you as a piece of advice is that if you are learning networking, don't just focus on networking, learn the system as well. If you are learning system, don't focus on only system, also learn what the networking as well, so that in case an opportunity comes in one of these two roles, you can still apply and then grab the job. Yeah, so basically that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. If you found this video informative, please like the video, subscribe to the channel to grow the community, and also share the video with others. So by so saying, I'll say goodbye and let's meet next time.